Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned unboxing here on the YouTube channel today. This one coming straight from Flip Mode Comics. Look at them with their branding on the box, now utilizing my video to give them advertisement for free. It actually costs me to buy their books to then freely put in my video. These guys are clever. It's clever. But in this video, we're going to talk about this book that we're unboxing. Is it the greatest comic book cover of all time? Perhaps it is. And then later on in the video, after I do talk about this, and we have this debate about it being the greatest cover of all time, I got more books that I've been picking up recently that are all books that I pulled aside that I just think are great covers. And so that's kind of the theme I wanted to have in this video with you guys, is talk about this idea of cover buying and why cover buying is actually maybe in a lot of ways more important than the significance of what is on the inside of the book. But of course, before I get into the video, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Help support the channel doing those things. Also, 5 days left, guys. 5 days left for my comic book series, Sanity, a Lovecraftian pulp adventure. If you guys want to check it out, link is in the description. I would definitely appreciate your guys' support right here. And we got some great covers. You know, we got some variants here. You got some modern stuff. You know, maybe you're into the EC style of covers, the vintage look. You got all kinds of choices and options here. I mean, maybe you're a business. You want to do a little business with Swaggle YouTube. You can come in here and support it. This is something me and the team have been working super hard on. We're very passionate about the material. And if you guys want to check it out, I would definitely appreciate your support. All right, let's get into this video here today. Now, you guys already know, picked up this book from Flip Mode Comics. Great guys. They're the ones I talked to about the Bobby Blue collection. If you guys happen to see that interview and that conversation, always great hanging out in their streams and their shows and picking up books. I don't recommend you guys go to it because I don't want any more people in that room. You know, it's getting to the point where it's like all of a sudden, you know, you're bidding on these books and they got to like roll dice over there, and you know, everyone's trying to compete with this stuff. I don't want you guys to compete. I want to get these books, and I don't want all you guys showing up, you know, bidding up the prices. I don't want to pay for fair market value on key issues. I want my books at half price, which is what I think I got this book for. Well, maybe not half price, but definitely lower than I have found it for a long time in the wild. But this one right here is maybe the greatest comic book cover of all time. Of course, we're talking about Amazing Spider-Man number 50, the first appearance of the Kingpin, the classic John Romita cover right there. What a beauty. Look at the reds on this thing. Now, this was advertised as being a lower grade. It is a little bit, you know, on the lower side. I think they had it at like a 3.0. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I have to open it up. I have to inspect it. Either way, I felt like I got a pretty good price on it, picking it up for $300. And this is a book that I'm happy to add back to my collection. I've actually had this book 2 times before at various grade ranges. One was a real beater, probably in like a 2.0 range. And then the other one was probably around the same level as this one, but I ended up selling it. And yeah, they had it up for sale. I thought like it was a good time to add this one back to the PC. This is definitely a book that, you know, is always in demand. It's always hot. Obviously, it got hot more recently because of, you know, Kingpin showing up in the MCU and all that sort of thing. And that's a great, you know, element to this book, is the fact that it does have the Kingpin factor. But one of the things that, you know, to me is the theme of this video, and what you always sort of notice when you focus on, you know, cover buying and things that collectors always like, is, you know, the elements that are the pop culture stuff, like, oh, Kingpin's going to show up in Daredevil, or Kingpin's going to be involved in the Echo show. I mean, that's always icing on the cake when it comes to, you know, the values and the desirability of books like this. The real main thing that is, in my opinion, the always big driver of this is the fact that it is a Spider-Man book that is just universally more popular than every other character there is, maybe next to Batman. And then number 2, you know, this is just identified as probably, you know, a top 5, certainly Spider-Man cover of all time, but maybe a top 5 Marvel cover. And that right there alone always means that this book has demand and that there is a market for it. And that makes it, you know, in my opinion, a really good book to have in the collection. And so I really like buying books like that, you know, that are cover first, that people enjoy. And then there's the significant fact after. You know, there's things like Silver Surfer #4, the Buscema cover that everyone talks about, how that's their favorite cover of all time. You have Silver Surfer #1. I mean, obviously it's a hot book right now because of the Charlotte Ball factor, but really, you know, what makes that book so desirable is just how amazing that cover actually is. And this is just referring to Silver Age. I mean, when we talk about Golden Age comic books, sure, there's definitely books that are significant due to their first appearances and things of that nature. But really, when we're talking about, you know, the value behind them and the desirability, we're at the end of the day mostly talking about covers and the artists who drew them. Which leads us to, you know, this next little pile of books that I want to share with you guys in this video. Starting with this one right here, we got some 8008s, guys. Although this one is really more of a 855. We got a great popular cover, Vanguard Illustrated #2 by Dave Stevens. You guys already know what it is. Avert your eyes, kids. All right, this is the only part I should be showing you. You know, this is a PG channel here. There it is, Vanguard Illustrated, excuse me. First appearance of the Star Grazers, which is why this book is clearly so popular. Obviously, I'm kidding. This book is popular because of the cover. Another Dave Stevens classic. Need I really explain, kids, why people want to pick this one up? But this is one, like many of the others, that has been really hot out there in the market recently. And, you know, you got to be a little bit careful with all these Dave Stevens things. I mean, the reason I found this recently is because I've been looking for them, you know, because the market has been looking for them. And this is proof, you know, for you guys that if you go out there and you hunt in your comic book stores, you will find one. You will find one. So I managed to find this one, ended up paying, I think, $60. I mean, it was like $55 and then, you know, with some tax and things like that. So $60 for this one, which I thought was a pretty good pickup based on, you know, what the prices are going for with this guy. And you never know, you know, with these things like Stargrazer's cinematic universe could be the next big thing. In fact, if I'm really thinking about it, there probably is a Stargrazer's cinematic universe, if you guys know what I mean. But, you know, we're talking about, you know, mainstream movie cinematic universe. But that aside, again, that's the icing on the cake for books like this, because really at the end of the day, the reason why people are buying this thing is simply due to the cover. I mean, that's really why people are buying any Dave Stevens book. All right, next book I recently picked up is one that I've shown on the channel many, many times before. Once upon a time, I had the highest grade on the census. This is not that, but it's still a nice copy. I picked up a Marvel feature, #1, first appearance of the Defenders. Now, again, another book that, yes, it has a first appearance. Yes, it has, you know, these guys coming together. And even though team appearances aren't that big a deal, but, you know, hey, team appearance is still a team appearance. But in my opinion, I think just what makes this book so great is, again, the cover. Done by Neil Adams. I mean, you have a great, you know, blocking with Hulk, Submariner, and Doctor Strange right there. And outside of the Defenders first team factor, you just got a great cover. And this is another example of a book like the ones I've previously talked about, where when you have a great cover, the first appearance is a bonus. And maybe, hey, Doctor Strange 3 will be him putting together the Defenders team, and that book might get hot. But after it gets hot and then corrects, it'll still be popular because it's a Neil Adams book. All right, this next batch of books right here are from the Incredible Hulk run. And in my opinion, I think Incredible Hulk Silver Age books are my favorite covers. I actually do think that that's the case. I just, every time I flip past them, you know, Every time I flip past them, I just absolutely love looking at the Incredible Hulk covers. Like this one right here, Incredible Hulk #141, first appearance of Doc Samson, but an amazing cover by Herb Trimpe. You know, I mean, that's really what makes this so cool, is just the fact that he had so many great covers. You know, Wolverine creator, although Roy Thomas is now also a Wolverine creator. Did you guys hear about that news? What do you guys think about that? I mean, what's the deal behind that? But this book right here, you know, at one point, this was really expensive. You know, people were going after this like crazy because there was so much speculation about what's the guy from Modern Family actually played Doc Samson in the Edward Norton film. And then everyone's thinking like, oh, now the leader's coming back. Maybe Doc Samson is going to come back. All right, next up here, literally, is the next issue in the run. But we got Incredible Hulk #142. This is first appearance of Valkyrie, although it's kind of not first appearance of Valkyrie, right? This is like another version of Valkyrie. Well, the Valkyrie appearances have so many like conflicts with it. You have the Avengers one that was her first appearance, but technically it was Enchantress. And then you got this one. And then you have her Defenders appearance. So you kind of have this split Valkyrie stuff going on. But either way, another book that, you know, technically has a first appearance element. But really, I just love the cover of this one. I love how dynamic it is drawn, you know, with the Dutch tilt right there. Kind of reminds me of Journey into Mystery 85. All right, and the last Hulk cover I wanted to share with you guys is probably my favorite Hulk cover. I mean, every time I go past this one, it's just got all the elements that I like. But this one is Incredible Hulk number 144. Just a classic Doctor Doom cover right there. The last 15-cent issue. You know, Doctor Doom covers, especially Silver Age one, like Doctor Doom has a lot of great Daredevil covers that are like all black covers. He's got some other really cool ones with Thor. I think some early Silver Age Thor covers. I feel like a lot of these Doctor Doom covers, the Avengers 25, that's one of my favorite Doctor Doom covers. I feel like a lot of those Doctor Doom covers are, you know, gonna get the eyeballs on them when we get Doctor Doom into the MCU. All right, last two books right here are ones that I just kind of want to share. And ironically, these are not great covers. No disrespect to the artist right here, but I feel like I wanted to talk about these because it's a stark contrast as to why these books aren't that expensive in comparison to their DC Bronze Age horror counterparts. But these are some Marvel Bronze horror. And this one right here is Fear number 1, written by Stan Lee, drawn by Jack Kirby, and kind of a throwback to, you know, the monster books that they were making before they went full superhero right here. But, you know, they had the Fear title. This would later be transitioned over to Man-Thing, Adventures into Fear and that sort of thing. But this is the number 1 issue, and that's really why I bought it, because, you know, I just thought it was a cool book to have. I mean, number 1 is always sort of attractive just to pick up. But admittedly, not the greatest cover. You know, I do like the green trade dress, but not, you know, not the most amazing monster. He's got his back turned to us. I don't love the blocking. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Marvel Bronze horror stuff just doesn't have the same appeal as the DC Bronze horror stuff, because I think the DC Bronze horror, they were doing a lot better with their covers compared to the Marvel ones, including this one, Supernatural Thrillers, number 1, a Jim Steranko cover. Now, this could be one that maybe you guys like. I mean, you kind of got like a monster situation going on right there, but another one that just, I don't know, it just doesn't quite have, you know, the it factor, you know, going on in it. But later on, this series would turn over to the Living Mummy. You get some first appearances of the Living Mummy in there, so that's kind of a cool, you know, spec if you're somebody who likes to pick up those monster books. But I think Marvel Bronze Horror is one of those series of books that, you know, they just, again, they didn't have the same level of covers compared to DC Bronze Age Horror, and that's really one of the reasons why the value is not there, because at the end of the day, comic book collectors are visual creatures, and they like beautiful covers. And then if it has a first appearance of a Kingpin, that's just a bonus. Anyways, that's all right for this video. That was me showing off the maybe greatest Marvel cover of all time. Do you guys think that that's true? What is your all-time favorite Marvel superhero cover? What do you think is the best cover of all time? And yeah, that's all I got for this one. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Kickstarter link in the description, guys. 5 days left. The story's really good. But that's icing because the covers are amazing. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. See you all in the next video.